Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon. So, welcome back to this online classes on artificial intelligence. Most probably, we have taken a, a long distance, like we have our last class on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There is a long gap. Hmm. So, in this class, what is that we are trying to do is we are trying to find the trace of A star algorithm, which was the version 2, which was as per the syllabus. So we started unit 2 basically in the last week, telling that this unit 2 talks about various algorithms with different heuristics. So we started the classes with BFS and DFS. I said BFS and DFS are unguided searches or uninformed searches because they does not have any heuristics. And your best first search and A star algorithm, we call them as guided search or informed search. The reason is they are augmented with some heuristic. Heuristic can be taken as some equation or a function that will guide your problem, and the heuristic changes with respect to the problem that you take. And even when you take a problem also, there is every chance that two people can have two different types of heuristics. For the same problem, if you are having more than one heuristic, the intuition, the intelligence of guiding your algorithm or writing the algorithm depends upon the heuristic. So better the heuristic, you get the optimum output faster. So that is the reason we are talking about best first search and A star algorithm for the last 3 classes. And this class also is a very simple class which will explain about what exactly is an A star algorithm by using the trace of the algorithm. So we will follow the same nomenclature that we have used in the earlier classes. This is how just I have come with the agenda of today's class. A simple class which will give you more emphasis on the trace of A star, because trace of B star we call it as best first search was seen in the earlier classes. Best first search algorithm is an algorithm which is a combination of DFS and BFS. So when can you use DFS or when can you use BFS? It depends upon the heuristic that you take. We have seen many examples, like we are just exploring the tree in the terms of BFS, then we select this part, then we select this part. Slowly, how do you get the output we have seen in the earlier classes? But the emphasis of the this class is again how do you learn A star algorithm, the final version with respect to a heuristic. So it's a very simple class. So if you concentrate on 10 to 20 minutes, so you will understand this algorithm. Once you understand how this algorithm will works, it's very easy to write the algorithm. Just you need to understand that. So once you are familiar with the trace of the algorithm, you can write your algorithm in your own words, and you can have your own conditions. So this is what I said. We have seen what exactly is best first search algorithm, and we call this algorithm also as greedy search or greedy first algorithm. Many other names are there. But the interesting fact is, what is the heuristic that was used? Is every time it will talk about some value at that moment. See, if it is 2, it is 3. If something was there like this, if it is 1 and if it is 2, at this moment what is the promising value is 2. At this moment what is the promising value is 1. So at that instant, what exactly is a promising value, that will be taken as a heuristic. So for best first search algorithm also we have seen 2 examples. One example where you got the output faster, the other example has deviated, and finally after exploring most of the nodes we got the output. And in the last class we have seen the trace of A star algorithm. by using a small heuristic. That heuristic is called as, this is what the heuristic is. This is what the heuristic is. So if I say this is A, this is B, this is C, what is the heuristic value at C is the cost of this entire path. That's what g of x is. G of x is the cost that was incurred while traveling from the starting state to the current state. So it your A star algorithm initial version is not bothered about what is the promising value at that moment. It will talk about the cost that is occurred since it has started, like how do you start something from your starting state to the current state. This is what the preliminary algorithm that we have studied. So in this class, just a minute, I will just remove this part. In this class, we are just trying to understand the final A star algorithm by using the heuristic. This heuristic was introduced in the last class. That's what I said. This is a combination of g of x plus, or sometimes what is that they do is they will interchange the terms. So I will have the same nomenclature in your textbook, so then that will be good, because that may confuse you. So you can have the same nomenclature like that of your textbook. Or if you interchange the variables also, there is no problem, but you need to define the variables. You can use this h g f interchangeably, but you need to define the values. So f of x is the final heuristic of your A star algorithm, and g of x is the cost or distance between your starting state to the current state, and h of x is the estimated cost from current state to the goal state. So what does your A star algorithm will do is, so since you have seen these three different types of algorithms, you need to understand now what is h of x is very important. H of x is a prediction, or what is the minimum cost to travel from the current state to a goal state, which is very important. So the efficiency of the algorithm will lies on this part, because A star algorithm, the final version says I need to have a heuristic which is a combination of g of x and h of x. So g of x is the distance between the starting state to current state, and h of x is the distance between your current state to a goal state, and most of the time h of x is a predicted value. So once you that predicted value every time will be given when you take an exam, but the importance or the adaptability or the robustness of the algorithm only lies when this h of x was properly estimated. So this is what the introduction of A star algorithm is. So before getting into the actual heuristic function and example, I need to again differentiate. Somebody need to unmute yourself and just differentiate what is A star, what is best first search. I need to differentiate what exactly is the heuristic here. A star version 1, what is the heuristic? And A star version 2, what is the heuristic? If this is clear, and then we can proceed. Can somebody unmute yourself and tell about what are the heuristic of best first search algorithm?
What is best at that moment, sir?
Yes, that is the reason if you read the textbooks, they call it as greedy search. At that moment, what is the promising node? So what will happen if I take that as a heuristic is, see, at that moment that node may be productive, but after later visiting to that node, there is a chance that that may not be the productive node. So that is the disadvantage of your best first search. Best first search is based upon your BFS and DFS algorithms, but based on the heuristic, sometimes you will have some advantages, sometimes you will have disadvantages that we have seen in the terms of DFS and BFS also. So can somebody again unmute and just tell me what is the heuristic that we have selected for the last class in the version 1 of your A star algorithm?
Distance from start node to the current node, sir.
Yes. So is the distance between starting node to current node is a static one, or it needs to be predicted? It is a static one. There is no prediction as far as g of x is concerned. So what is the distance between the starting state to the current state? Current state means I am referring to the successors of some node. So how much distance it will take? So that it will be taken as a promising node at that moment, again as far as that expansion is concerned. So the last version of the A star algorithm that we are discussing today is a very simple thing, that it is just a sequence of what we have learned from the last 3 classes. Again, what is that they do is f of x is a combination of g of x and h of x. So h of x is the value that predicts the distance between the current state to a goal state. So every time when the problem was given, they will give you like this. So they give the h of x and they give a g of x, then you are asked to predict the path. Can you tell me, after seeing this, what is the goal state?
G, sir.
Yes, whenever the heuristic, whether it is g of x or h of x is 0, the meaning is that is a goal state, that is implicit. So this is the final heuristic that you need to remember. Many times people will ask you, even in interviews also, this is a good equation, because heuristic function, I said, is an equation or set of statements that will guide your algorithm. And if two girls are having a different heuristics for the same problem, the meaning is their intuition towards representing their problem is different. At that moment, one heuristic is better, some other moment some other heuristic may be better. It depends, like for every problem there is no need that you have to choose a single heuristic function. It depends upon how do you apply that problem and how do you understand the problem, what are its applications, what is the domain, and what is the input that you give, sample input, general input. So this is what you need to we are discussing for the last 10 minutes. This is very important equation that you need to have it. So many textbooks, even the textbook that was prescribed for you, particularly Suraj Arvind says f of x is the final heuristic function, and g of x is the distance between your starting state to current state. H of x is the estimated path. In sometimes there is no estimation because it was already given here, but this h of x is the distance between the current state to the goal state. When you have this combination, they say that the heuristic function is having more impact. That is the reason they say A star algorithm is better than best first search, and these two are better than your BFS and DFS because they are augmented with heuristic. Sometimes what will happen is, if you choose a wrong heuristic, what will happen is you will get output after unheuristic searches also. When you apply algorithms without heuristic also, they can do better if you choose a wrong heuristic. So your algorithm will only can do better when you have a proper heuristic. So that is how you understand the problem, and how you choose this heuristic is very important. So now if this is clear, and we'll see what exactly we can do with this problem. So again, I have come with the diagram, a simple diagram where we start with the starting node again, and we need to go reach the goal state. And now you need to understand, like if you wish to print the path from the starting state to goal state, every time you need to remember your parents. So the parent of f at this moment is b, the parent of b is s, the children of s is b and a, so on and so forth. Every time when you think about some path, you need to not only think about the cost that was incurred. See, if I wish to go to this g, I can have a path from s, b, f, g. So the cost that I can say by seeing here is 6, but we are bothered about the cost in the terms of least cost. Apart from that, when you try to print, we are not trying to print, we are only thinking about open and close. So here, if you wish to print, you need to also identify the parents. So the parents has to be stored in somewhere, and then once your parents are stored, then only we are going to print the path. So till now, for the last 3 classes, we are not talking about the path. We are only seeing understanding the problem in the terms of open and closed. How does your open and closed values will change? But this open and closed values has to be synchronized with your parents also. That will come in tomorrow's class. So we have been talking about open and close for the last 4 to 5 classes. Open consists of nodes that are to be visited, and initially open will have the starting node, and closed will consist of the nodes that are already visited. So open in general will consist of nodes that are not visited. So in general, open will have the starting state initially, and closed will have nodes that are already visited, and it will have a null initially, and slowly the values will change with respect to the iterations that you have. So we are more concerned about what exactly is open is. So open data structure will change with respect to the application that you take. And you know, when you use BFS, you said open is a queue. When you use DFS, open is a stack. And you said when you are using A star algorithm, this open is what? A star algorithm or best first search algorithm, what does open represent?
Priority queue, sir.
Yes, it is a priority queue. So this is what this same story that we are doing for the last few classes, and just we'll try to have that so that the continuation of the classes you can have that feel that the classes are having continuously, and then once you understood this, writing the algorithm is just a cakewalk. So we just try to find the trace of this diagram, and just I try to discard this and go to the next slide. So what does this is better. What does open contains initially? It is what the starting state is. Close will contain null. So what is the next step? How many are there? Still very few. Okay. What is the next step? So you need to expand. Yes. So if you wish to expand this, you have only two options, that is A and B. So what will happen here is you will have A comma B here, and S was now visited. So what are the heuristic value of A? By seeing this diagram, what is the heuristic value of A and what is the heuristic value of B? See, ASR algorithm, the heuristic is the distance between the starting state to the current state. So A distance will be 3 plus what is the estimated cost that was given here is 12. So this 12 will come here. So this will be coming as 15. For B, the cost is 2 plus 4 was given, so it is 6. So which is promising is at this moment B is better. So now you need to update the values. Just a minute, I will just update. So what is the A value now? I say, what is the A value we got?
15, sir.
Yes. So this value is B because this is a priority queue. A value is 15 and B value is
6, sir.
okay. So as far as the heuristic is concerned, the best promising node at this moment is B. So B has to be visited next. So once I remove this B, the meaning is I have explored the values of explored and expanded B. The meaning is E and F are already there. So I'm just writing here. E will be there. What is this? What are the children's like EF? Okay, EF you have to write here. So you have to write E, F, A, and A value is 15. What is the value of E? What is the value of E? Value of E is 5 plus 8. It is 13 here. So the cost from S to E is 5. 5 plus the estimated value at this moment they said it is 8. So the total value you get here is 13. At F it is 3 plus 2, that is 5. So you need to update the values 13 and 5. You have 13 here and you have 5 here. So obviously the better alternative at this moment is I can write 5 here and just remove this part here. So 5 is pertain to which one? 5 is F. So I have to write an F here. E and A. Is the third iteration is right? Just see the diagram. The cost for F is 3 plus 2, that is 5. At E the cost is 5 plus 8, that is 13. Is the third iteration is right? This is the diagram. Is the third iteration is right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what is the next node to be visited? SB and what is the
F.
next F? What you said is right. So what are the successors of F as per this diagram is concerned is I and G. So I and G, I comma G comma E comma A. So E value is already there, that is 13. A value is already there as 15, and I value at that moment, I value is 2 plus 1 plus 2, that is 5. I value is 5 plus 9, and G value is 2 plus 1 plus 3, that is 6 plus 0, that is 6. G is 6, I is 14. So I is 14 and G is 6. So you have already sensed that G value in your open list, and you also sensed that your G is the starting node. So I can type here something like this. I'm just not bothered about all the other things. There is 14 also. We are just shuffling this to have this G here and I here. And obviously G is having a less heuristic. That is the reason you have something called as SBFG. Since your G is the final node, so obviously as far as this example is concerned, so the output can be SBFG. But you change the values, then you will not get very. See, this is an example that I have taken from your textbooks so that you can understand this A star algorithm very easily. But your A star algorithm, when can your A star algorithm take or consume more time? Can somebody can just tell me? If you remember properly, when you take two examples in the last class, most probably on 4th of this month, like I started with this presentation, like I went through this diagram and I have changed the values here like this. Earlier values are not this type of values. We have a different value here. We can see here S value is 13, A value is 12, but I have changed the values. Then what happened is this best first search algorithm has took more number of explored more number of nodes to get the output. The same way, can somebody tell me when can this algorithm like A star algorithm will fail? This is a simple example. Can somebody just tell me when does your A star algorithm will not work properly, or how do you assess the working or the efficiency of A star algorithm? When can A star algorithm can do better? Can somebody just tell have an insight? See, the entire A star algorithm, it depends upon the heuristic value. Just a minute, I will take this pointer. Okay. Entire A star algorithm depends upon two values. We call that value as G and other value is H. So what is H actually? H is a value that will indicate the cost that will happen from the current state to the goal state. So every time in general when we try to have an algorithm, the h of x is every time is a prediction, but it looks like a static value. The reason is it was already given as a table to you, but every time in real time what will happen is h of x value will be predicted. H of x means if they say h of n means n is the number of nodes, h of x means x is the number of nodes, so that may be clear. But when you are asked to give an example, then they give like this. But every time your A star algorithm efficiency depends upon this h of x, because h of x is the estimated cost from your current state to a goal state. So when we give a problem, we give like this, because you could find like g of x is static and h of x is static at this moment, because all the values you can see in your diagram. But largely the A star algorithm is successful when this prediction has happened correctly. So h of x value has to be precise, then only you can have your A star algorithm that can do better. So my request is something like this. How many people has opened the textbooks? If they have opened the textbooks, at least for writing the algorithm, the assignment, most probably they need to just go through various algorithms in your textbooks. Other algorithms which were not there in the syllabus, they say we have some algorithms called as hill climbing. Where in hill climbing, what will happen is you will have some graphs like this. My interest is something like this. See here, when you wish to have this type of points, hill climbing will not get this output here, but they will get this type of local maximums. What we will do is we call it as local maximum at this moment. So when you write an algorithm to find a point like this, instead of this point, your algorithms will give this point. This is called as local maximums. Why I am telling all this to you is something like this. Like when you wish to have uh, an interest to develop algorithms, you need to think about various algorithms which are there in the syllabus and which are not there in the syllabus. If you see some graphs of your hill climbing, what is that we get is something like this. We have some algorithms which consistently give a same value for what type of input you give. So all this can be known when you try to implement this, because A-star algorithm, just you type in the internet, you get lot of code for this, and you can execute that and see what actually happening in A-star algorithm. But your interest has to be, how do you execute this best first search, how do you execute BFS. See, I said best first search is a combination of DFS and BFS, but in if it is not there in the syllabus also, you can have breadth first search, a standard BFS plus heuristic, there is an algorithm, and depth first search plus heuristic, there is an algorithm. You combine BFS and DFS, there is an algorithm that is called as best first search that we have seen. And many algorithms are there, like hill climbing algorithm is there, plateau algorithm is there, branch and bound algorithm is there. Your interest has to be, once you are inclined and are having some interest in artificial intelligence, you have to do all these things. That is the reason I said you take a textbook called as Richard Knight, or whether you take Suraj Aravind, then your expertise, once you read the textbook, you have a different dimension of knowledge, because whatever I am teaching is my perception and my understanding, and my interest is to throw light at the same time to complete the syllabus. But once you read the textbook, your intention is different. Maybe you wish to develop an AI app, can we use hill climbing, that can be your interest, but it depends. Like at some point of time you could find hill climbing will not help you. At some point of time you can find that A-star algorithm is a better alternative, or you don't want to get into A-star, then you have an algorithm called as AVO-star. You can find that AVO-star algorithm is better suited to your graphs. So it depends upon how do you see and how do you read the textbook. That is very important. As far as this class is concerned, I'm only just concerned about introducing this A-star algorithm topic. My next class is concerned, what is that I'm trying to do in the next class is I will write the algorithm for your best first search, which consists of open and close again, and just we will try to think about this. But you need to understand here, whenever we are talking about the minimum cost, every time you talk about how do you start from your starting state and reach the goal state, if you print open and close, their list bothered, but you need to print the path from your starting state to the goal state. Every time this path is not precise like this, you will not get the path like this. With every time you will not get this type of output. So when you try to have A, then try to visit B, then try to visit F and G, you have a different path. So how do you get the optimal path? Where exactly you need to backtrack? Which is a promising node? Which is a promising path? All this intuition must be there. So once you understood the way in which these three algorithms are working in the terms of open and close, then you need to identify, we need to store the parents address so that I can backtrack. At the same time I need to store the children so that I can start from one place to other place and print that path. So two things that you need to do tomorrow. One thing is how do you backtrack and how do you store the children and parents. If you have that understanding, then tomorrow's class will be very simple. And tomorrow class is writing algorithms in the terms of best first search you have written. So we will write best first search, then we'll also write algorithm for A star algorithm, and we will close this A star algorithm and best first search algorithm tomorrow. Then we will start an algorithm called as ABOSTER algorithm a day after tomorrow. But I wish to extend this discussion, but for some reason again the number of students who are attending this class again are very limited for various reasons. It is just reaching 124. I don't know the reason, whether you have any Vedic activities or any other activity that we need to understand. So at this moment, if you have any doubt, please unmute yourself, or you can just leave for this day, because this is the last class that you have. So from tomorrow, because DSC is already the interviews are starting tomorrow. From tomorrow, every class I will give the set of quizzes like what we have done in the earlier classes. So from tomorrow, we will have this feedback quizzes, and whatever activities that we do earlier in this Google class, that activities will again come, because already two companies almost they have done, like Capgemini has visited and recruited. Even DSC also most probably tomorrow and day after tomorrow they will complete their recruitment. So obviously we have time and we can concentrate on how do you take the classes better than what we are doing for the last 10 classes. If you have any doubt, please unmute yourself and ask, or you can leave. My small question is, can you able to access the videos that are done in the last class?